It's getting tense. Title race time in Denmark. Viborg 1 point clear of Copenhagen. We face Midtjylland and Copenhagen today before moving on to 2 games a week. Can we possibly do it? Or are we going to get found out by the bigger side? Let's go and see. It's time for Rebuilding Viborg. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 24 of Rebuilding Viborg with me, Daniel. We are back today, 1 point clear of Copenhagen at the top of the Danish league. We've got a game in hand because they just drew at Brøndby, whereas we will be facing Midtjylland, who Copenhagen beat last week. We ourselves just snuck past Brøndby in an emphatic game last time round. It was end-to-end. It was Liverpool v Newcastle-esque for those of you that are old enough to remember. And we today will be trying to get a 4-point lead before we go away to Copenhagen. But if you're looking forward to finding out and you are enjoying the series, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. We had a big transfer deadline day yesterday in the Helsingborg. You can find that in the eye above, as well as the latest top 3, the Twitch channel, and much, much more. There's also links in the description to support the channel and find other platforms. But for now, it's all about Viborg here. It is a huge episode, and it's going to be a block of 3 huge episodes. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for the couple of games that we've played off camera, because we have had, well, good luck in front of goal, and maybe not been so great defensively. So we have only played the 2 games, a 3-0 win away at Silkeborg. We were really helped by a red card here, because although it was 2-0 at half time, well, we probably should have been behind before that. Thankfully, Sampaio was in scoring form, Tobias Beck popped up with one as well, and Daniel Harbo took advantage of the extra man by going on a solo dribbling run late on in the game. And then away at Brøndby, the lower expected goals, less shots, less possession, and somehow a 4-3 win. Palmer scored early on, Beck put us back ahead again, Sampaio and Toksvard made it comfortable seemingly. We were 4-1 up at the hour mark. I don't know how, but Brøndby came storming back. And in the end, we were very fortunate to cling on. Big shout out to Daniel Anyembi, who was brilliant with a couple of goal line clearances. And Toksvard in the middle. Constant creative force really helped us to get the win there. So for now, it's probably about keeping people fit. If we've got our first 11 out, I fancy us to maybe just win the title. If we get 2 or 3 injuries, well, it could be a very long finish. And we could end up 3rd with no trophy, which, as we saw last year, might not mean Europe is guaranteed. So with all of that discussed, we might go and get into our game in a minute. But firstly, we need to mourn something. Because we discussed here a number of times how disappointing some of our golden generation youth intakes have been. And in fact, 1 or 2 of you mocked me in the comments for getting excited about this year's one. And not only did it not deliver a golden generation, it delivered, and I can hardly believe it myself, it delivered, if it's still there to be seen, a half-star intake. Half a star poor intake. How can you go, and I don't mind if it's off, every time you predict a golden generation, it shouldn't be a golden generation. And every time you predict a terrible intake, it shouldn't be terrible. How can you predict this is the greatest generation of young players we've had in a long time, to it being an incredibly poor group of players in 4 months? Seriously. Let's have a little bit of perspective here. That should not be possible when our head of youth development this year is pretty bloody good at his job. I just don't understand. It's so far-fetched, and it's made me angry because I finally had hope that we were going to bring someone through. As it is, the only 2 players worth looking at are Nikolai Sorensen, a right back who can't jump, can't tackle, can't cross and can't position himself. Doesn't bode particularly well. And an attacking midfielder in Jonas Mikkelsen, who's pretty good in everything aside from the pass and the finish, which is exactly what I'd want from a number 10. We have got a young goalkeeper who might become a squad one in the future, and Alan Larson is an okay young striker, more of a target man than the type I use. But overall, I'm just disappointed. So let's go straight into the first game against Midtjylland, a must-win looking ahead to next week. So let's go and see if we can do it. We know exactly what result we need to get. Let's pick our 11 and find out if we can. Well, we discussed it, didn't we? The importance of not getting injuries. And for a number of weeks now, we've been able to name the same 11 in league matches. Not today. Laridson, the experienced left-back, comes in. We've got an injury to Schroeder for a couple of weeks. He'll miss this one and probably the Copenhagen game too. And if you look at him physically, he's over the hill. He's 35. He's leaving in a few weeks. I'm not so confident about him back there, I've got to be honest. There's not really another option in the squad though. Nobody else can play left back. So Mulgaard, the only one, the youngster who misses out on the squad, he's still developing quite nicely. And the rest of the team is as expected and as follows. Lerche in goal. Still won't sign a deal without a minimum fee release. We might just have to suck it up soon. And Yembi and Laridson are fullbacks with Bukima and Carter as centre half. In fact, when is the last time Laridson started a game? He has played one Superliga game from the start this season, and I'm pretty sure it was the first game of the season, if I remember rightly. We're going all the way back. I can't find a League One there, so I think it will have been all the way back in August that he played. In midfield, we've got Vitt, Harbo and Toxvard. How are we going to replace Toxvard? And then Palmer, Beck and Sampaio the front three. He's back to full fitness just in time. And my word, is Flavio Sampaio delivering. Into the derby today, can he please do so again? It's going to be a tough test. I'm worried about the left side of our defence, but fingers crossed it won't get too exposed. Well, Midtjylland have a few strong stars in their team, only one change from their last match. We're looking at the likes of Placheta, really good player. We know that Sviatchenko's a start, the skipper at the back, and the likes of Johnny Lucas on the bench have scored plenty against us before. So let's just go through to it. We're going to prove a point. They have been the disappointments of this save, to be honest. Finished 7th last year, but got into Europe because of the way that the coefficient works and because of the way the city playoff works in the league. So let's get into the first half. It's Viborg v Midtjylland. There's over 8,000 through the gate, and this is huge as Larisson's on the ball at left back. Please don't make a mistake. I'm going to be saying that under my breath every time he gets the ball. Tobias Beck has this time though. And he's out to the right hand side. Karstenen. Good ball for Fernandez, who skinned Laridson like he's not there. And then put a shot into the bottom corner. And immediately our frailty, our one position with a first team injury, has come back to haunt us straight away. 5 minutes gone, 1-0 Midtjylland. And I've said this before, 2 or 3 injuries and this side is nowhere near the level it was. And it depends where the injuries are as well. Laridson, we can't compete. In midfield, bar the holding role, we can't compete. Going forward, if Sampaio's out, Rothman's okay. If Beck's out, Karstrup's okay. Even at right back, Anyembi's out, Burr's fine. Carter's out, then we've got Carlson. But left back, centre midfield, we just haven't got it. And we're proving that at the moment as well. Half an hour gone, we're 1-0 down, and we're yet to muster a shot on target. Very unlike us. And of course, this is the first time we've got that pressure. Copenhagen have played the game and not won it. And we're now finally in pole position. We've got our destiny in our own hands. And we're not taking advantage of it. We're not seizing the moment. So we are going to point the finger, ask the lads to prove a point, and we just hope we get a reaction. If not, it will be early subs in the second half. Right, I've got no choice. We've had a couple of shots on target, but we're 65 minutes in now, and we're producing nothing. We've got a front three that isn't delivering, so I'm going to change it all. Blahamon on the right, Karstrup on the left, Rothman up front. Blaham will be a inverted winger on attack. We've also got to look at other positions. Vitz had a poor game, so the experience of Groening will come on here. And I'll save the last sub 10 more, just in case, because we don't want to play with 10 men or anything. But I'm not convinced at the moment. It's our worst performance in some time. And it's the first time in months I can't remember us having an attacking threat. So let's make the final sub. And Yembi will be replaced on the right-hand side by Burr. And we're going to go positive as well. Try and chase the game. Try and encourage the lads. Try and get on the front foot. But I don't think it's going to be enough. What a disappointing way to start the running. Muru flows into Placheta. And as soon as we've had a big tough test here, we've not had the luck. But it has been coming. We had this against Bromby last week. We just managed to score all of our chances. And the same performance has not delivered an outcome today, particularly with a mistake from the standing left back. And 35-year-olds that are really declining physically are not going to cut it at this level. Though Carter heads away to Toxvard. Can we nick something? Over the top to Blaham. The youngster off the right wing. Brought down by the penalty area by Muru. Got to be given. Come on. You've stopped the game as well. You've got to give this. Oh, it would be a lifeline of all lifelines. Laham down. Penalty awarded. Who takes it? I think it's Jurchin Rothman. It normally is. He's had a hit and miss record in the last season. Muru's off with a second yellow as well. But that's irrelevant at this point. Can we nick a result? Rothman, right-footed, into the top corner. Never in doubt. It has been an awful performance. But we've got a point. Look at the fans in the derby. It's almost going to feel like a win this if we hold on. Going to Copenhagen, we've got a 2-point lead. And now a draw is enough to keep us top of the table. That could be the biggest goal in the running, despite being a really disappointing day. I'm disappointed because we probably should have played a lot better in that match. We've nicked a point, we've got a result on the board. Now it's on to Copenhagen, arguably the title decider. Right then, it is fitness test time ahead of a huge match in the Danish Superliga title race. But that doesn't tell half the story really, does it? The last 3 days have been chaos because we didn't realise it was only 3 days, and you saw the state of the fitness at the end of the match for some of the lads. We have reached our 200th game in management across our spells with Helsingborg and now here with Viborg. It's been a great career, but if we could finish this season in style, it really would top it off. And if we go back a little bit further, we set a gate receipts record for the match against Midtjylland. We really have started to galvanise this club and galvanise the fan base too. So there are so many positives, but of course, it only takes one big defeat to go wrong. We're still, if we go to the medical centre, without Schroeder today. He is out for another 5 to 10 days. So in fact, it's worse than I thought. He misses this one, he misses Esbjerg at the weekend, and he misses the first leg of the Cup semi-final. And if we go through to the fixtures now, we're going to see who's fit. We know that Toksvard and Palmer can't play. They're both on loan from today's opponents. And while they've given us a huge chance in a title race, they can't play in the biggest 2 games. So I'd expect today Copenhagen to go top, if I'm being honest. We might just have to play nasty for a point. We did it against them once before. Let's see what team we can put out. Fitness is going to be crucial. I have given Harbo and Lauritsen a day off training to get fit, and it has worked for both of them. In terms of the position in the front three, Rothman will come in. Palmer is the man who comes out, of course, and Sampaio will go out to the right-hand side. In midfield, I'm going to bring on Carlson. Witt will go into the middle, Carlson into the holding role. Mulgaard takes his place on the bench. And then we've probably got to go to the youth team, which tells you how thin our squad is in this situation. We've got the choice of a greyed out player or one of these lads. And who is the best of them? That is the question. Because there aren't many good ones about. I think the best was this Davidson. He is a winger who can play up front, but I'm not a big fan if I'm being honest. There is so little talent in here. What about the midfielder? He's alright. He's not quite fully fit, but he'll do for today. We'll have a look at some of the others later down the line, but I think that's the best lineup we can put out, which tells a lot. The first team, it's not too bad. There's a lot of heavy legs. There's a lot of players that have played nearly every game this season, and there's a couple who aren't match fit either. But we've got to give it our best shot. Palmer hasn't come off the bench for some reason, so Abdi will go on for him. There we go. The changes from the weekend are enforced. It's Carlson and it's Rothman in. 2 of the long-term heroes at the club. 2 of the players that we got in the very first season here. And they come in for the ineligible Toksvard and Palmer, who are on loan from today's opponents, Copenhagen. We're 2 points clear at the top. If they win, they're top. Anything else, we're top. This is huge. Let's go and get into it. It's Copenhagen v Viborg. Nearly 30,000 fans in the stadium. Right then, 2 changes for Copenhagen, who have got Nygren up front. You've got to say that the new manager from Midtjylland has done a good job this year. Horta's in, Vallejo's in at centre-half. They've got a really strong spine of the team. And we're looking a little bit light at the moment, to be honest. Lauritsen at left-back's a liability. We've not got that big, strong holding midfielder. We've not got that quality and that cutting edge or that pace going forward. It's a very different look for us. I'm just about holding on. If we can stay in it for 15-20 minutes and we're getting outplayed, I'll probably go defensive. But for now, let's get into the first half and just hope we can have success in the capital. Question of the day with 15 minutes gone. Who wants to be a hero? Matson holds the ball up for Nygren. It is immediately the hosts on the front foot. The skipper goes wide to Yankuto. Gets to the byline on the right-hand side to Horta. Into the box back to Kuto. Vit dives in. We can't afford any silly cards, so be careful there. Horta finds Matson. Into Bayo. 1-0. Big problems. We're going to VAR. The hand is up, but the flag was not. I'm not sure it was, to be honest. I think it's fine. It is offside. Right, we've had our warning sign. Let's play for a point. Fullbacks, you go on to defensive duties. Just make sure you don't get caught out with those wing-backs. Wingers onto support. You've got wing-backs you're going to have to chase back and help, I'm afraid. So Beck, he will go on to a support duty too. And then Harbo will stay on an attacking duty, but the only one who's going to be supporting Rothman. 15 gone, it's back to 0-0. But this is going to be a long old night. And with half an hour gone, we've probably got to keep an eye on the fitness too, because a few of these lads, we mentioned Larriton and Harbo, we had to give a break from training. Beck's never been the fittest. We haven't got that many subs now, as Anyembi goes back to Carter. Back to the keeper, Lurche. Big ball downfield towards Beck, who does well to bring it down. Through ball to Rothman. This would be an epic smash and grab. First shot on target, it's brilliantly saved. Oh, if Sampaio was through the middle, I reckon he scores that. Not been his best season, Rothman. And Larriton will take the corner. Big ball to the back post. The one thing he hasn't lost is his set-piece delivery. As Harbo finds Beck, the shot's blocked. It's our best spell of the game for sure. Back to Carlson. Nothing doing from it. It's all Copenhagen until that point. But if we nick one on the counter, we know we've got the quality in behind. As Vallejo. Back to his centre-half. They look so comfortable on the ball. And they've still got the two up front in his tactic as well. Though Beck nicks it on the left. Goes back to Larriton. Finds Bukima. You can see how deep we are. Even in possession, we've got 5 players in our own half. Zanyembi. Inside to Harbo. Give us some magic against your former club. Just over with a shot. Worth a go. Won't deny him a chance at magic. Midtjylland 2-0 up. Nordsjælland 2-0 up. It's half-time here though. It's goalless. And at the moment, I'm absolutely thrilled with it. We've got the same expected goals somehow. I guess just because of that corner scrap. We're going to ask the lads to prove a point again. We've got most of them on board. But if we can stay top of the league with a 0-0 draw, probably be our best performance of the season if I'm being honest. Because they have the ability to blow us away. And this shape with a few players out, I tell you what, it's working a treat. I wouldn't bank on us holding on just yet though, particularly with our recent defensive form as Yankuto gets it on the right. Almost at the hour mark, Larriton's going to get skinned here. He does just that. Kuto to the byline, delivers to Nygren. Great goal line block from Carter. Bukima slices it out into the stands. And it's a throw-in. An hour gone. Still 0-0. I've no idea how. We're clinging on for dear life. Harbo and Beck are knackered. But they're also our 2 best attacking players. Zanyembi delivers across. Beck's up. Oh, the keeper spilt it. And it's cleared away. Can we nick it on one of those moments? It's what happened at Bromby. Every time we countered, we scored. But here we've not got that same quality up front. We're missing Palmer. We're missing Toxvard. And we've got fatigue in the other stars in the team. As Larriton gives it to Bukima. Vit the skipper to Carlson. Poor ball forward intercepted. Can't afford to make mistakes. As Bayo on the right. Inside to Kuto. 5 in support for Copenhagen. They throw men forward. But Kuto goes alone. Puts it over the bar. It's probably done us a favour there in truth. And we're back with another free kick for the host. This time to the back post again. Lurche makes the save. I'm looking at what changes we can make. And I don't know which ones help at the moment. Lurche's got the ball on the edge of his box. Goes long downfield. Rothman's got there. Beaten Sissoko. Shoot. Oh, just over the bar. He was scoring them last year. He was taking chances. This time it's not happening. As we've got to throw it right back with Anyembi. Don't take it there. What are you doing? Falls to Matson, to Bayo. Oh, it's off the post. You lucky, lucky boy. Daniel Anyembi, you absolute idiot. Why are you throwing it in like that? 15 minutes to go. We've got to make changes. We're just going to have to gamble here. Carstrup on for Beck. That one's not too much of a weakness. We've got Burt will come on for Anyembi, I think. We've got Harbo. Can I take him off for Groening? Is it worth it? Probably not. So Carlson will come off for him. Vit will go back into the holding role. I'm going to leave the last 2 because they're all youngsters after that. And though Blaham and Mulgard have played games, this probably isn't the occasion for them. We might bring them on as time-wasting subs late on because this might be the best 0-0 we ever get. Though Copenhagen are playing out from the back again. There's still 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And Zeka gets the ball back to his keeper. Out to the centre half. The skipper finds Vallejo. They're keeping it well. They're playing lovely football. Surely they break us down eventually. Bukima with another big header at the back. Harbo picks it up to Carter. Into Vit and Harbo. Turns his man. Oh, this could be amazing. Rothman chases. The back pass is tense. It's undercooked. But the keeper does well with it. It's away as far as Matson. To Hoja. It's becoming an end-to-end game late on. Last 5 minutes now. They're surging down the left-hand side. Ball to the back post to Starga. And it's well wide of the post. It's a sliced, horrible effort. Blaham will come on for Rothman. And there's the first of our 2 time-wasting changes. Please let us cling on. It's not the way I like to play. And it's hit the post again from Starga. The header from the corner. Zeka back to Matson. Zeka again to Solbakken. Lauritsen blocks it behind for a corner. This is such gutsy defending. The lads are giving everything to cling on. We're going to time waste all the time. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to slow it down. We're going to hold our shape. You all know the drill. We don't like to do it. But this is the way we're going to have to be at the moment. This could be the most important point in this club's history. Just please let us hang on. It's another corner. Carter heads away. Phenomenal defending. Into the box and over the bar. Oh, jeez, I cannot cope. 90th minute. Bukima's out on his feet. I hate changing the back 4 late, but Mulgaard's going to have to come on. 3 minutes added. Please. We've dropped to cautious. We've got 45 seconds. Kuto into Starg. Back to Horta. Don't make a challenge. Nygren. Back to goal to Solbakken's hit the post. Mulgaard clears to Sampaio. How on earth have Copenhagen not scored? Karstrup brings it down. We're on the counter now. Through ball's overhit. Blaham won't get there. Oh, I was getting greedy, hoping for 3 points there, wasn't I? This is absolute insanity. Nygren finds Horta. Through ball to Starger, he's in. No, the 3 minutes are up. Rasmussen heads away. And it's offside. That should be it. I think we've done it. I think we've drawn 0-0. Somehow. I don't know how to explain it. Vit plays a 1-2. Just get it forward. Hook it into the corner. Karstrup gives it to Blaham. And there is the final whistle. That is the hardest fought point we have had in our entire career. A wonderful, defensive, resolute display. Lerche phenomenal. Carter sublime. Burr off the bench. Couple of great clearances. And we hang on for 0-0 despite missing 3 key first team players. Despite having really tired legs towards the end. We've picked up a point. We stay top of the league. That could be season defining. Could be save defining. Let's skip ahead and see when we're going to be back. What a result. Well, while we were gritting out a point, Brøndby are winning on the road to close the gap to Copenhagen to 6 points. They're not out of it just yet either. But let's have a look at the schedule. What an effort that was. We got pasted, but defensively we were so strong. And that's why we can't afford to lose Lerche. He's become a really good goalkeeper. And I think either way we lose him in the summer. It's just whether we get the release clause of 2 million or whether we end up losing him for free. But I don't want to lose him. He's so good. Let's have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. We have got Esbjerg, Silkeborg, the 2 most winnable games on paper in this top 6 split, both at home. We've got to take advantage and get 6 points. Brøndby away in between that in the first leg of the cup. Do you know what? I'm going to have to throw it. I really wanted to win it, but the semi-final is so much less important now. So it'll be a backup team for those, or rotated where possible. And we are going to be back for the second leg of it, as well as Brøndby at home in the league. Because this finish to the season, trust me on one thing, it's going to be blockbuster. If you did enjoy this episode, 2 hard-fought, gritty, determined performances to get points, then please do put a thumbs up on it. We keep the unbeaten run going, albeit with 2 draws that we probably didn't deserve on paper. There's a great never say die spirit in the camp. If you want to see if it leaves us or not, then subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. There's links in the eye above to the top 3 playlist, yesterday's Hemel episode, and much more, including the Twitch channel too. A massive thank you for your support with everything. You can find links to all the other other platforms in our link tree down below. But as we spent half of this episode making tactical changes to try and grit out draws, see my top 3 tactics tips above my head now.